I ran out of the house one morning in Washington, D.C. I was running late and I didn't have time for any breakfast, and I said to myself, well, there's that little French deli just round the corner. They have some great croissant and, stuff like that. I'll just slip in there very quickly and get a quick bite. It's like a little strip mall. But of course in Washington, as in all the big cities, traffic is at a premium. The Beltway around Washington, they claim, is the longest continuous traffic jam in the country. Even the Long Island Expressway does not compare with the Beltway around Washington, interestingly enough. I live 1 minute from the Beltway, right by National Airport there. So I ran into this little strip, and not one parking space available. I said, I'm in a hurry. And I sat there for about 5 minutes debating whether I should go or not. But I'm a person who really needs breakfast. I don't know about you. I can survive the rest of the day, but I do need a good breakfast. Anyway, I'm learning what brings amens out of these people, Lord. Anything connected with food will do it. And after I was sitting there for about 5 minutes, I saw the tail lights come on in a vehicle. I said, oh, great. So he backed out, and you've got to be quick in Washington. I zipped in, lest anyone beat me to it, totally failing to take into account a small delivery van that was double parked there with the name of the deli on it that I was trying to go into. And this space was right in front of the deli. And it never occurred to me that he might have been there for 15 minutes and he's waiting to get in to unload stuff into his own business. So I was rather pleased with myself that I'd got this spot. And I saw in the rear vision mirror this driver, who's also the owner of the deli, little Frenchman, got down out of his truck and he was steaming. And he steamed all the way over, and with his fist he started banging on my driver's side window. So I kind of moved across a little and let the window down, just so he couldn't connect with me at the same time. But I didn't want him to break the window either. He was mad. And he stuck his head in through the window and he shouted at me. And I speak enough French to recognize the swear words in French even. I thought, this is an interesting tongue lashing that I'm getting here. And he went on and on. How could you do this to me? I've been waiting there all this time, you inconsiderate person. He went on and on and on, very excitedly. Well, luckily that morning I had taken time to come to the cross before I'd left home. And the grace of God was in me, I'm serious. Because I want to tell you, had I not done that, I'm equally as capable of saying to that guy, hey, bug off, buddy, too bad for you. I'm capable of saying that. But the Spirit of the Lord was in me. And he wound down and he looked at me glaring. And I could not believe the words that came out of my own mouth. I said to him, you're right. What do you mean I'm right? I said, well, what you said about me. You're right. I am a worm of the lowest order. I did not see you parked there, I'm serious. I was in such a hurry to get this place, I totally failed to recognize, that's how selfish I am, that somebody else could have been sitting there waiting for this spot. But it's not a big deal, I'll tell you what. I shall reverse out. I couldn't believe I said this. I've never done this in my life. I will reverse out. You may pull your truck in and I'll wait for the next spot. And the guy he couldn't speak. So I quickly got out of the way before he said anything. I reversed out and he pulled his truck in. And I waited another 5 or 10 minutes and I finally got a spot. And I saw him in my rear vision mirror coming over again. I thought, oh my goodness, he's not done with me yet. He didn't seem to be steaming, however. So I got the window down in advance this time. And he stuck his head in and he said, I want to ask you something. I said, go ahead. He said, I was very rude to you. I said, well, I think I could agree with that. He said, but you spoke so politely and so kindly. back to me and said, I've never been spoken to like that before. And he said, I just wanted to know how come you were able to do that. And I just grinned at him and I said, well, I have a confession to make to you. It wasn't me. And he's looking around the car. He said, well, it sure sounded like you. I said, no, it was my father. And he keeps looking around the car. He said, well, where did you drop him? I said, no, it's my father. And he went, oh. I said, yes, that's my father. I gave him an opportunity this morning to be able to speak through me. I wish I could say I do that every day of my life. And so his voice came out instead of mine. I'm not normally that easygoing. I'm a very confrontive animal by nature. But that was his voice coming through. And he looked at me and he said, were you planning to come in and have some breakfast in the deli? I said, I was on my way in there. He said, you probably guessed that I own the deli. I said, yes, I was aware of that. He said, well, would you come in and have breakfast on me? I said, of course, I'd be thrilled to. And he said, would it be okay if I joined you for breakfast? I said, certainly. He said, I would like to find out what it takes for somebody to be able to return such unkindness with such love and kindness. I said, it'll be my privilege to share it with you this morning. And I had the most incredible, and I've developed a real friendship with this man, and I say to myself, wow, an appreciation of the death of Jesus, praising God that the guilt and the condemnation is lifted from me, that God is actually looking at me as though I'm justified, I am declared righteous in His sight. I don't have to spend my life trying to show Him I'm perfect. I am free now for the Spirit to come into me and to walk and to talk and to do those things that will reflect that I am at peace with God.